The phone rang while I was standing on the balcony, watching the Alps bleed gold into dusk. It rang once, twice, then it screamed. I didn't pick it up. I already knew who it was. When I finally did, I didn't speak. I let the breathing on the other end expose itself, sharp, offended, entitled. "Dad?" My daughter's voice cracked like she was biting glass. "Where are you?" I looked at the mountains, clean, indifferent, honest. "I'm home," I said. A pause, then irritation. "You were supposed to come for Thanksgiving. We waited." I almost laughed. Almost. "You told me to wash dishes if I wanted to attend," I said calmly. Silence, then her voice sharpened, humiliated. "You think this is funny? We called you 20 times. You didn't answer." I leaned against the railing, phone warm in my palm. "I was busy," I said. "Busy doing what?" she snapped. I glanced back through the glass doors, at the marble floors, the silent wine cellar, the art no one touched because they were afraid of smudging it. "Enjoying my life?" She inhaled sharply. "What does that even—" The call dropped. Moments later, the notifications began. Missed calls, texts, 71 times, all after she saw the photo, the one I posted without a caption, the Swiss villa. And suddenly, the silence I had lived in for 8 years was screaming back at them. It didn't start with betrayal. It started with distance, small things, canceled dinners, eyes that avoided mine, a wife who came home smelling like a different future. She told me she was tired. I believed her. My children followed her gravity. They always did. She was louder, warmer. I was structure, discipline, quiet. Then came the new man, a family friend, a business partner, a man with a firm handshake and a smile that stayed a second too long. He laughed easily with my children, bought them things, promised them careers, futures. I watched it all like a man watching a slow leak in a dam, knowing it would collapse, but unsure when. The divorce was clean on paper, brutal everywhere else. She said she needed freedom. The children chose her without hesitation. They didn't say goodbye. They changed their surnames within 6 months. Her new husband, my replacement, gave them jobs in his company, titles, paychecks, belonging. I received silence. 8 years of it. No birthdays, no calls, no explanation, just absence. And in that absence, something else grew. Clarity. I didn't fight them. I didn't beg. I observed. I watched bank transfers, company filings, corporate structures that looped back on themselves like a snake eating its tail. I learned who really owned what. I learned whose signatures were forged. I learned how the empire my ex-wife bragged about was built on quiet fraud and borrowed credibility. Mine. They used my old patents, my shelved ideas, the things I'd abandoned when I chose family over ambition. They didn't think I'd notice. They thought I was broken. So I rebuilt, silently. I moved assets overseas. I consulted for people who valued discretion. I invested in things that grow while others sleep. I bought a villa in Switzerland, not to show wealth, but to anchor it. Every move was legal, every step invisible, and all the while I stayed gone. No holidays, no calls, no rage, just patience. I waited until my absence became a void they could no longer ignore. The truth didn't come with shouting. It came with paperwork, a single envelope I sent to their office, addressed to him. Inside were documents highlighting ownership structures, timelines, and a quiet footnote pointing out a miscalculation so severe it would unravel his company in a courtroom. He called me first, voice trembling, polite, desperate. "We need to talk." I agreed. We met in a neutral place, glass walls, too much light. He tried to smile. I slid the folder across the table. He opened it, stopped breathing. "That's impossible," he whispered. I leaned back. "You should have read the fine print 8 years ago." His face drained. "You can't do this." I tilted my head. I already did. Later, my ex-wife called. She didn't scream. She begged. I listened in silence. When she finished, I said, "You chose a man who needed me to exist. Now he doesn't." She cried. I didn't. The kids called last, all three, one by one. Apologies tangled with panic. They spoke of misunderstandings, of love, of family. I let them talk. Then I sent them the photo, the villa, the mountains, the life they traded for approval. Their tone changed instantly. "Dad, we didn't know you were successful," I finished. "Alive?" Silence. Then entitlement crept back in. "We should visit," my son said. "We're family." I exhaled slowly. "You told me to wash dishes if I wanted to belong," I said. "I learned something instead." "What?" "How to eat alone." I hung up, blocked them all. Now the house is quiet again, not the lonely kind, the earned kind. I pour wine at dusk and watch the world forget me. They wanted comfort, I chose clarity. They wanted inheritance, I built independence. I don't hate them. Hate is noisy. I simply removed myself from their story, and in doing so, I finally became the author of my own. The phone doesn't ring anymore, and that is peace.